So I looked through the last month's worth of photos on eBird to pick out member photos. And here's what I thought was especially nice. As mentioned, there's been an unusual visitor to a blue morph snow goose. And I believe it was first seen at Lake Hallowell, and then seen at Blue Mash. And I took this nice photo off of eBird by Woody and Ray Dubois. I don't know if I can get rid of this thing. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, all right. I'm going to have to move it around. Okay, here's I thought, a really nice picture of a ruby-throated hummingbird that appears to be sleeping or blinking by Evelyn Ralston, seen in September, late September at Hughes Hollow. Yeah, I think we're sort of stuck with it. Okay. This was also back in late September. I think people remember that an American golden plover came to the Hughes Road polo fields, and there were quite a few pictures. I chose this one. I thought it was really nice, by Bruce Evans. The plover was in flight. I thought this was a nice angle. So, let's see. I just chose this because I really love it when the yellow-bellied sapsuckers come in. It's always a joyful day, and I like this picture by Stella T. This, I hope, is an indication of things to come. A red-breasted nuthatch at Black Hill Regional Park, taken by Mark Ross. Did you? Well, I haven't seen one yet, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It's not an unusual bird, but I thought it was a lovely picture, and I was also pleased because I could immediately tell where this bird was because of the bone set in the back, and I knew it was at Redgate. So, lovely picture by Frank Witebski. Another thing I hope we'll be seeing, a purple finch by Jim Ivitt at his home in Darnestown. And I hope we'll be seeing more of these as well. It's sparrow time, and I always like to go and try and see as many as possible. So this nice sparrow at Goody Trail, which has been a very rich place for sparrows. White-crowned sparrow by Ann Mittick. Swamp sparrow by David Roberts, and I really like the way it seems to be sticking out its tongue. It's a really nice picture. Lincoln sparrow by Scott Young, and I think these sparrows, Lincoln sparrows, always seem to have a lot of personality with their raised crests, and this one was doing a bunch of acrobatics for Scott. I like this one. And then a few warblers still around, in the last month, and this one is still aspirational for me. Morning warbler, especially lovely picture by Stephen Davies at the Wheaton Branch Stormwater Ponds, which is a great place to visit. Cape May warbler by Karen Sear. And it's obviously a really nice picture, and you can see the tree it's in. It's in a Coosa dogwood at the Croydon Creek Nature Center, and there's a little group of them near the mansion, And it gets a whole lot of Cape May warblers. I think someone said there were as many as 50. I don't know about 50. And it's a yearly phenomenon and quite a sight to see. Very nice. Orange Crown Warbler by Jared Fisher at Lois Green Conservation Park just recently. And then this is not in the county, and it's not a great picture, but it's my picture. And McGillivray's Warbler at Susan Forsyth's home in Northwest DC. And I guess it hasn't been seen today, but for the last few days, it's been a visitor that last count, over 80 people had seen, probably more, because that was a day or two ago. Yeah. And this is how the picture should look. But Karen was with me at the time, and she took a better picture, so I just wanted to show that one. And you can see the characteristic white eye crescents, not a full eye ring like the Connecticut, but just crescents, and otherwise gray-hooded and yellow-bodied. Lovely bird. And that concludes the photo portion.
All set. Okay, first slide. Sure. So I'm just going to briefly talk about some science I just recently became aware of. Maybe some of you already know some of this information. So let's look at this white-necked Jacobin, and this is a bird that you'll see in Central America and South America. And this picture on the left is of a juvenile of unknown sex, because all the juveniles look like this. Next. And when they grow up to be an adult, the males look like this, look a lot like the juvenile. This is a picture I took in Colombia. Next. That's fine, that's fine. Except for that part there. We don't give Emily enough credit for all this presentation stuff. So anyhow, and the females are supposed to look like this on the right. This one a picture taken in Colombia. And then next slide. Yep, that's it. Well, you can see I put some question marks after male, because in fact, about 20% of the birds that look like this adult male are in fact females. So next slide. So you can see that that's fine. The immature females start off looking just like the immature males, but about 20% of them end up looking like adult males, and all the adult males, all the juvenile immature males end up looking like the adult males. So, and I put some links there that you can go to when we put this online. But the adult appearance is called androchrome, and the typical or 80% female appearance is called heterochrome. So next slide, please. So these people wanted to know what is the significance of this sexual dimorphism within a sex. And they looked at a number of physical characteristics. Excuse me. In this one, they're looking at how much weight a hummingbird can lift. And you can see that the heterochrome female on the left in green can lift about the same as the androchrome female in the middle, whereas the androchrome males on the right can lift more weight. Right? So most of the physical characteristics between the two appearances of the females are the same. So by looking like a male, they're not getting some advantage like being able to carry more food or being tougher or that sort of thing. So why is it that some of the females would tend to look like males? So can we go to the next slide, please?
Quick question.
Yeah.
What's on the x-axis and why the shape looks like that?
Oh, that's the x-axis would just show, so the x-axis would have just 3 marks. From left to right would be the, let me say, typical or heterochrome female appearance. The one in the middle is the male appearing female, and the one on the right are the males, right? And then those plots, some people call them a violin plot, are showing the numbers as well as the distribution. So if you look at, say, the gray one on the right, the ones at the top of that enclosed gray thing can lift the most, and the ones at the bottom of the gray one can lift the least. And you can see the distribution. Most, say, the median amount is like 22 or something like that, and so that's what the shapes mean. It's just a way of getting more data into a two-dimensional plot.
Is that also indicative of the extent of that bird?
No, it has nothing to do with color.
Okay.
Although,
And the size of the bird?
no, doesn't has anything to do with the size of the bird. This is just showing the lift, the strength that the hummingbirds have to lift. And you can see that they have, there's probably 20% in the middle of the total females compared to the 80% on the left side in the green. That's,
Can you say a few words about reproducible experiments on how much weight these birds lift?
well, I mean, well, they did this by actually stringing weights onto the hummingbirds, and they did, each hummingbird was given increasing amounts of weights through 7 trials, and then they stopped. So, right? So you can read the details to get more about the statistics, but they were happy with it. I know, hard to see them lifting these little weights, but they put them near the bottom of the thing, and then they try to fly up and get away because they put a light above to track them out. But they can't. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, there was not a video. That would have been cool. Okay, so I just told you that the 2 types of females have very similar physical characteristics on average, but there's variability, as you saw in those plots. You know, some females could probably lift more than the weakest males, that sort of thing. Okay. And the significance of the variation is not clear. Now, males, some of the males exhibit territoriality. They have their space. They're going to go there. They're going to kick everybody out. Females never show that, either type. So they conclude that androchrome females, and perhaps the juveniles as well, since they look like males more or less, derive an advantage through social dominance mimicry. Right? Now, this is not something that's unknown in the world of biology, but most mimicry has been shown between species, you know, like monarch and viceroy butterflies, or between king snakes and other poisonous snakes that develop similar patterns. Okay, next, please. But nobody's actually studied this social mimicry or social dominance mimicry in this detail to try to figure out why they're doing that. So they think that females with male-like plumage suffer less aggression from males compared to females with more typical muted plumage and can hang out longer at feeders. They might also have white-necked Jacobins are really aggressive, so other hummingbirds, when they see something that looks like a male, might be less likely to get involved as well. Yes?
Anything known about the relative reproductive success of the females that look like males as compared to the females that look like females?
They didn't talk about that.
Because I would wonder whether the males would tend to drive away the females.
You know, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good thought, and I wondered the same thing. But they might see other clues. I don't know. Okay.
Just a request to repeat the questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, does looking like a male offer any type of advantage or disadvantage in terms of sexual reproduction? And my definitive answer was, I don't know. Okay. They didn't, as far as I know, as far as I recall, they didn't mention that in the paper. Okay. Next slide. So the question is this a widespread phenomenon? It is known to happen in other hummingbirds, and I can show you that on the next, I can't show you that on the next slide because I didn't. But the same group looked at 300 hummingbirds, and about 20% or 25% of those hummingbirds have this same female sexual mimicry. So, but, next slide, please. Next summer, next spring, whenever you're looking and you see what appears to be a female on the left, a male ruby-throated hummingbird coming to your feeder, you can rest assured that that is a female and a male, because this species does not do intersex social dominance mimicry. So.